humble beginnings. We had a rundown goat shelter, which was far from ideal, as you saw at the beginning of this video. So in March 2025, we embarked on the construction of something a little bit more modern, a raised goat house. So as you can see, that is the beginning of the construction stage. The floor, which is about 1 meter above ground. This is the modern way that people are doing goat shelter. Since this was our first, you will notice some mistakes which we did because when you start something new you haven't done before, you're bound to make a few mistakes here and there. Spacing on the floorboard is not the ideal spacing because we need to leave gaps in between the floorboards for the goat droppings to fall directly onto the ground. But as you can see on there, that wasn't a provision wasn't made for that. Now you can see the four walls on the goat housing. The guys who did this job for us were quite fast, and I think it took them 3 days in order to complete this structure. I can share their details in the comment section if anyone is interested in their services, but I was really pleased with the job they did for me. They're from Harare. So at this stage they had done the walls, so what was remaining was the steps for the goats to be able to access their new housing. So yeah, which they did, I think, the day after. This goat shelter is 6 meters by 3 meters. So, and this can easily accommodate 50 goats. But at this stage, we still had about 15 goats, 15 Mashona goats. So that's what I meant when I said humble beginnings. When we had that rundown shelter, which you saw at the beginning, you might get glimpses of it in the background of the rundown structure. Yeah, but this 15 could easily fit in here, and there was room for maybe 35 more. So it was time to think on investing on more goats, since we now had ample space to accommodate bigger numbers. So this is how it looks like inside. Like I was saying, look at the floors. There's no space for the droppings to drop on the ground. And to make it more comfortable, we had to put a bit of grass on the floor. And at this stage, In April, when it was done, we added 30, 31 more goats, so that we wouldn't waste space when we had invested so much in a goat house like this one. It cost us about $750. Actually, the cost build up, we can say it was up to 900, including the transportation of the materials from Harare and so forth. So it was quite expensive, which is why you will see what we did later on when we decided to expand. So you can see these goats can comfortably climb those steps into the new shelter.
Handisikumothiza mbuzi. Yeah. Osaka zikangonzwa muridzo dzinoedza kutopinza. Hadzitombomirirepo kuthini. Waita sei gombe? Ndisai kudaro. Kana ingabayiwa nechi? Akakatogona kupirira zakutsamira. Dzinoenda kuviwa mani mukati kupinda
After completion of the raised goat house, we decided to improve our fencing. Our perimeter fence was also run down, so we engaged the same guys. Both they specialize in farm infrastructure, so they are also good at doing fencing around paddocking. So they did a perimeter fence to house our goat house. The perimeter fence is 100 meters on each of the four sides, so it's a hectare. So the goat house is this house inside a hectare. The type of fencing we used for this was game fence, which is 1.5 meter high. But then just above the 1.5 meter high game fence, we also put 2 strands of barbed wire. So the total height of the fencing is about 2 meters. So there's ample space inside there for any future developments, expansions. That's why we made it quite big so that we wouldn't run short of space. They did quite a good job. I was very happy with the job they did. The goats seem very happy in their playing yard, as you will see.
Ka uyu karba msoro kakuonike. But you said to nurse. Yes. Mixing primary. Do ya?
Yeah, that's our daughter doing most of the filming for all the new developments on this project. We said the girl child can't also be involved in farming. We introduce them young so that they can also develop an interest, and even if they're not interested in exactly the same project, but they have an idea and of how to organize stuff, and then maybe when they pursue their own dreams, they have somewhere to learn from. That's our security in the background. You can hear the dogs barking. We'll improve on the breed of the dogs, because so far we just have they're just mixed breeds. We don't really know which breed of dogs we have, and then there are some which are meant for goat herding, and some which are there specifically for security around the pen. Every farmer needs protection and some alert systems, some like alarm systems. Sometimes these dogs alert you to intruders, where will always be available to come and disrupt people's progress. At this stage, we then decided to improve on the genetics of our herd by introducing across Kalahari back. This was from an auction in Bulawayo. So that's the back when it was being advertised on the platform where we bought it, where we bid for it. We ended up, the auction started at about 250 for the cross Kalahari, and we ended up acquiring it for $350. That includes all the paperwork and delivery in Chegutu on the main highway. Now, as you can see, it blended in. Now it has arrived at the farm. It blended in well with the head. At first, we thought it would have problems with this other bull, with this other back, which was already there at the farm, but we didn't find any major issues. So anyway, the purpose, we hope they know the purpose, which is to breed or to crossbreed these Mashona doors. So far, we are quite happy with the relationship. But some people always say, it's better to have an odd number of bucks in your head, so that when two are fighting, one of them is busy mating if it's mating season. So anyway, we are taking one step at a time. It's no use just introducing a lot of bucks in your head at the same time. It's better to introduce a buck when the other buck has been in the production cycle for maybe a year, so that the new buck which comes into play will not be inbreeding with the what I mean is it can breed with kids from the other buck. So it's an advantage to put a year gap in between the introduction of the bucks to avoid the inbreeding. Yeah, there goes the buck, which we acquired when we acquired the 31 goats in the first place. And this is the head. I think this is the head just coming from the pastures, going back into the playing yard. You can see the goats enjoying the maize stalks, but you see most of the maize stalks seem to be going to waste, because in this state, when you just put them in there like that, they are not palatable and digestible. So we need to invest in a calf chatter, so that we can be able to cut them up or chop them up into smaller pieces, which are palatable and digestible, and we can mix that with things like maize, corn, and maybe lucerne grass, which we might also need to cut with the chaff cutter. Also mix everything together and supplement our goats. You can see most of this is gone to waste. It could have been converted into meat mass if we had done our homework right. This is late September, early October, and you can see it's so dry. Although this is in the playing yard, it resembles what is happening in the pastures. And now, this is now about November. With the onset of the rains, you can see a little bit of green here and there in the goat playing yard. My feeders arrived, and let me station that. Those are the feeders we intend to use for supplementing. It looks a little bit more green now in the courtyard, and this also is a reflection of what's going on in the pastures. So now they have more variety. Besides just browsing on the leaves, they can find some type of grass which they like. So we are always happy when it's the rainy season, although it comes with its own challenges like diseases, because that's when there's more ticks and there's more worms. So like in this playing yard, it's advisable to keep your goats housed until the dew has dried off. So when the grass is still wet, the worms are still above ground. But as soon as the sun starts hitting hard on the ground, the worms, I think, go below ground. So it's safer for the goats to graze, or when the sun has been out for a few hours. Yeah, during the dry season, there's nothing much to go on in the playing yard. So before the guys take the goats out to the pastures, sometimes they cut and carry some nutritious tree cuttings from acacia trees so that they have something in the tummy just before they go out in the field, because sometimes the guys will be busy cleaning the goat houses, things like that. So meanwhile, the goats just have something to browse on, and water before they go out to the pastures. That's the good thing about the pastures we have, because we have lots of acacia trees. So even in the dry season, when you go out, there's not much grass. Anyway, goats aren't much of grazers. Anyway, so either way, even in the dry season, when they go out in the pastures, there's plenty of acacia leaves to browse on. So that's why this type of project, coach project, it's rare that you go wrong. It's good if you can afford it here and there to supplement with feed from the shops. But even if you don't have, you will survive. You'll be able to make it in this project. As they say, I'm still to see, but so far I've come across a dry season and we've gone past through it without much hassle. So I'm quite confident that this is a project which will thrive in any environment, whether dry season will still be fine.
Gogoro weni chimbo ini.
Wayo.
Ibi.
Ile.
Opaka empane wayo.
Ibona tinga wa. Ni.
Wayi ndo isina nyanga.
Ona matoka aya ari kufarira kuteta apo unoona pa ai saka rakazokandira racho aina kurova
Then in November, we embarked on the construction of another courthouse in anticipation of the increase in numbers through buying more goats, and as we go into the killing season, we're not sure of how many of our goats we're carrying, because at this stage our record keeping is not up to scratch. So we're just acquiring goats. Most of the goats we acquired were pretty young to mate. So and then with the onset of the rains, we thought it would be wise to start the construction of the expansion of the goat housing. But taking into account the cost of doing a raised goat house, we just decided to do the standard goat house on the ground goat housing, and make sure that it's always swept regularly to avoid accumulation of droppings, which eventually cause diseases in our goats. And this construction of this proved way cheaper than the 6 by 3 meter raised courthouse. This one is actually 17 meters by 4 meters, and it cost us all in all about 500-600, because we used panels from an old cabin for the back wall and the side walls. The front we just put a so this is what it stands like in January 2026, with this being the main goat house. And this section is the one we constructed in March. It now automatically becomes the maternity ward. We fenced it off. And the one next to the maternity ward is the section where we want to keep our bucks so that we can control the breeding. We will keep them in there until it's time to breed. That's now the main the goat house for the general head. We didn't spend as much on this one because it's not raised. So this is the way to go. We just need to improve on the edges, on the bottom edges, so that water doesn't flow in during the rain or rainy season. And even inside, we need to improve on the floor. We need to make a concrete floor which you can easily sweep on maybe not daily basis, but every 3-4 days, depending. Actually, we can increase the frequency of sweeping. Depends on when the numbers increase and the amount of droppings. Well, it's not something cast in stone that it's every 3 days. We can even do it daily, because the main purpose is to make our goats safe and be in a healthy environment. As you can see, there's not too much droppings, but it's not easy to sweep away those droppings when the floor is like the way it is at the moment. Although we do try and sweep, but it will be easier for the guys, because this work of looking after goats, you should make it the work easier for the guys who are helping you out, so that they love the job. those are part of the working conditions. Imagine someone working in a clinic and you can see the patients are sick, but there aren't any gloves. There's not enough medication. You just need to be in an environment whereby you do your job and you are happy doing your job, because the it's easy to go around your daily work. So, as we were saying earlier, this is part of the grass which is not good to be too close to the goat house. So we have to, it delays us opening up the goat house so that it's a little bit dry by the time the goats come out to just play in the playing field. Otherwise, these are hosts to worms. Yes, so there again, that's the maternity wing. Look at all that stuff on the floor. It's what the guys swept from the floor. All that we can use it for manure for our lucerne grass, which is somewhere out there in the field. We'll take you out there one day to the fields to show you what we are growing. We're putting some soybeans, some lucerne grass, some pigeon peas. So those are the partitions, and we'll show you something which is at the end of the partitions. The race which we'll be using for treatment and vaccinations and dipping the goats, because at the moment we don't have a plunge dip for the goats, so we just constructed a race at the end. So we drive them in there and close the front and the back. We can put maybe like 10, 15 at a time. Do our treatments, our injections, our deworming, even spraying with a knapsack. So farmers, this has been our journey from March 2025 to January 2026. So we'll be back with more updates. Just keep on subscribing and sharing.